Let's just start by taking a deep breath together. Seriously, take a second and just let your shoulders drop. If you found your way to this explainer today, well, there's a really good chance you are deeply, profoundly tired. You know, today's explainer is going to be a little bit different from our usual deep dives. Instead of breaking down some complex scientific theory or a big historical event, we're unpacking a deeply moving piece of text that essentially acts like a letter written directly to you, the exhausted, doubting, fiercely loving parent. We're going to look at the literal architecture of raising a human being. And the source material we're exploring today, it completely reframes that incredibly heavy burden you're carrying right now. So welcome. Just let this be a moment of total validation for you. Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to ask yourself, honestly, how much of your daily energy is spent just trying to manage their moods? Trying to avoid a meltdown at the grocery store, trying to be their absolute favorite person in the world at all times. It is a incredibly heavy, almost paralyzing weight to carry around, isn't it? Well, the source text we're analyzing today targets this exact feeling. It recognizes that modern parenting kind of traps us in this exhausting cycle of trying to curate a perfectly happy, frictionless existence for our kids. But what this text argues is that this constant, exhausting pursuit of their immediate happiness, it's actually a fundamental misunderstanding of what our job truly is. Look at this agonizing contrast right here, because we live in this tug of war every single day. On one side, you have the immediate, exhausting pressure of making our children like us right now, all the time. And on the other, the profound, long-term reality of raising a resilient adult. The source text draws a very hard line between these two concepts. Basically, being a parent is not about winning a popularity contest in your own living room. If you're operating under that daily pressure to just be liked, you are absolutely going to burn out, because frankly, it's an impossible standard. The shift in perspective here is just massive. Your role isn't to be liked today, your role is to be thanked a decade from now. Let's actually just pause and sit with this thought for a moment. Sometimes love comes in the form of the word no. It is arguably the shortest yet hardest word in the entire English language for a loving parent to say, right? We are biologically wired to want to give our children the world, to see their little faces light up with a yes. But the text asks us to completely redefine our understanding of love here. Love isn't always just warmth and giving. Sometimes love is a boundary. Sometimes love is standing totally firm while they're crying, knowing deep down that giving in would actually be the easier path for you, but absolutely the wrong path for them. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. Because of that, sometimes care actually looks like strictness. When you hold a boundary, when you insist they finish their homework, or when you have to be the one to take away the tablet or enforce a bedtime, man, it feels terrible in the moment. It feels like pure friction. It honestly feels like you're being the villain. But the text reframes this painful friction as a necessary expression of deep care. You aren't being strict because you lack love. You're being strict because you possess an overwhelming amount of it. You literally care too much to let them take the easy way out. And that brings us to what I believe is the absolute core philosophy of this text. When we talk about the sacrifices of parenting, what usually pops into your head? We usually think about the financial cost, right? The lost sleep, putting careers on hold, the sheer amount of time it takes. But this explainer isn't about those physical or financial metrics. It posits that the highest cost of parenting is actually measured in emotional endurance. The greatest sacrifice isn't your wallet or your sleep schedule. It's your immediate relationship with them. Just look at how beautifully the source defines this sacrifice, allowing your child to misunderstand you today so they can grow strong in the future. Let that really resonate for a second. You are actively, voluntarily choosing to be misunderstood by the very person you love most in the world. You're out there absorbing their anger, their frustration, their I hate yous like an emotional sponge. And you're doing this in silence, without defending yourself, because you know that this temporary misunderstanding is the exact soil where their future resilience is growing. It's quiet, it's heartbreaking, and it is an utterly heroic sacrifice. All right, let's shift our focus for a minute. We've talked a lot about your sacrifice, the heavy emotional toll on you as the parent. But what's happening on the other side of that equation? What's actually going on inside the child when you're bravely holding these difficult boundaries? The source text moves from the parent struggle to this beautiful, hidden construction project that's happening within your kid. Every no, every strict moment, every single misunderstood intention is secretly building something magnificent. It's literally the architecture of character. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is exactly how the text breaks down what this true parenting creates. It builds three very specific, vital pillars. First up, a gentle heart. because by holding boundaries, they learn empathy and respect for others. Second, a strong mind, because facing the word no teaches them how to actually cope with frustration and how to delay gratification. And third, responsibility for their own life. Look, when you don't swoop in and magically fix every single problem to make them happy, they're forced to learn how to fix things themselves. Your strictness today is literally the blueprint for an independent, capable adult tomorrow. Okay, I want to gently guide you out of that heavy, exhausting present moment for just a second, because the text offers us an amazing lifeline here. It fully acknowledges that today, right now in the trenches, your child absolutely does not understand. And you know what? That's completely okay. They aren't supposed to yet. They just don't have the perspective. But the source promises a future. It emphasizes that the friction, the tears, the slamming of locked bedroom doors, it's all temporary. There's a real horizon out there where the fog is going to clear. And this right here, this is the ultimate payoff. This is what you are quietly working toward every single exhausting day. When they finally look back, armed with the maturity of adulthood, they aren't going to remember that you wouldn't let them eat candy for dinner. They are going to remember the safety of your boundaries. The text leaves us with these incredibly powerful words from the future child to the parent. Thank you for never giving up on me. Let's just sit with that for a second. Let the profound, inevitable gratitude of your future child soothe your tired heart today. So, what does this all mean for us? The absolute crucial takeaway is this: your exhaustion has a profound purpose. The absolute hardest parts of your day are actually the most valuable work you're doing. As we've seen today, true love isn't about being liked. It's about building their future, even when it costs you their immediate approval. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. When the friction hits today, when you inevitably have to play the bad guy, will you embrace that misunderstanding? Will you step into that sacrifice, knowing exactly what kind of beautiful tomorrow you are building? Keep going. You are doing absolutely profound work.